Hain Racing's offset drive is an amazing piece of engineering. When fully assembled with its different components and adapters, it'll change the way you look at engine configuration. It comes in two sizes, 3-inch and 6-inch offset. Inside is a quill drive that allows a power input or output on both sides of the shaft. So with a single input, you get 3 outputs. The drives are stackable, and in a stacked assembly, one input gives you 5 outputs. Stacked offset drives can also be bolted indexably at 22.5 degrees. So it can be set in at 45, 67.5, or 90 degrees. Configuring the drives with a Marmon-style clamp makes the clocking infinite. Inside the drive, we're using a European-style belt. It's about 7/8 of an inch wide with stainless cord. We've tested it to 125 foot-pounds of torque to failure. It'll carry at least 100 foot-pounds of torque in the racing application. On the outside of the offset drive, you'll find all sorts of options and adapters that cater to your individual racing application. For example, a standard Mallory drive unit can be easily modified into an MSD mag. Adapters can be configured for MSD, Mallory, Vertex, or any magneto. Our fuel pump adapter has 3 different configurations: Hilborn, Enderley, and the Waterman pattern. The drive shaft adapter fits into the quill to drive the fuel pump. For a Marmon-style fuel pump mount, we add the adapter ring, drive shaft adapter, fuel pump adapter, and finally, the Marmon clamps. The clamp has 2 bosses, so you can brace off the engine to support the unit depending on how much overhung load you have. Let's say you have an Enderley snout. Remove the shaft and place it in our Marmon adapter. Replace it back into the snout. It then becomes a bolt-on adapter to the drive unit, or Marmon style, attaching with the adapter ring and Marmon clamps, all using your existing snout. Here's a standard big block Chevy distributor drive and oil pump drive. Attach our adapter and you have an offset drive. Change the setup and you go from bolt-on to Marmon style system. Configure the other end and you have an offset mag drive. The number of applications is astounding. We even provide an advanced retard adapter for non-electronic classes. If you're not using an adapter on a particular end of the drive, a cover plate can be bolted in its place. Let's take a good look at the drives in a working system. In this example, we're using a stacked unit. The input is coming off the front of an RCD for a 481X attached with a Marmon clamp. The drive runs through the stacked drive, driving the mag directly off the cam to eliminate backlash. The stackable drive here is bolted at 45 degrees. Because it's Marmoned, when it sets in the car, the Marmoned clamp lets us swing the assembly from one side to the other depending on how we want to index it. In its current application, it's set straight up and down. We've attached it to the motor with a Marmon clamp. The bosses on the clamp are used to brace it back onto the motor like a 3-point hitch. We use different adapters with varying lengths to make the configuration longer or shorter in its overall stacking height. With one input, we're using 2 outputs. On one side, this section drives the fuel pump, and on the other side, this section drives the oil pump. The oil pump is configured with an adapter, a standoff, and a Marmon clamp. The fuel pump and the magneto are Marmoned on. The advantage of the offset system versus a triangle drive is that an individual belt runs each side. That means there's a full wrap of belt for each component. If it were a single belt in a triangular configuration, there'd be a larger risk of failure because you only have a small amount of teeth engaging the belt. With the offset drive, you get at least 180 degrees of engagement on the belt. Well, that's what it does for us. Imagine what an offset drive could do for you.